radio show, and it's Soccer Tuesday, as both the boys and girls soccer teams are in the state championships, and the coach of the boys, Coach Jowers, is with us. Good morning, Coach.
Morning.
Hey, congratulations on, was this back-to-back now in the hosting a playoff game?
Back-to-back.
Yeah.
So,
pretty cool. Pretty excited for the team.
yes, much better to stay home than to be traveling right now.
Well, especially having to travel, like, to Santa Teresa.
Yeah. I think we all kind of knew it was going to be Santa Teresa. It was whether we were going to have to play them away or play them at home. So
yeah. And then, of course, the girls got in. They get to play Goddard again, which is a tough opponent. And that one's in Roswell at the Cielo Grande Soccer Complex. So
yeah, and I guess the first time they played them, they took them to overtime is what – I could be wrong.
I think you're right on the first time up there.
Right.
And then they kind of dominated down here.
Yeah, the last time was a little different. But,
yeah.
You never know.
Yeah, well, that's why you play the game, right?
Yeah.
So, well, good. And you graduated some players last year, so you had some folks that kind of stepped up and have really gotten much improved over the course of the year.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you kind of try to develop players at all levels so that there's not a huge drop-off with a huge senior class and so I mean every boy on the team has stepped up and played a role whenever needed, and I couldn't be more proud of them as far as like everybody just being a good teammate and doing what's asked.
Yeah. Well, every team I'm sure is just a little bit different from year to year. What's been kind of unique about this group of soccer players?
You know, the one thing that's pretty unique about this group, as in that from some of the years past, is they're really all, for the most part, all of them have the ability to play every position on the field. Whereas in years past, there was a little more, I guess, where you were more specific to your position, and whenever boys can play different positions, it kind of opens things up, because if somebody gets hurt or somebody needs a break, you have multiple different options and multiple different looks. I was telling somebody the other day, I was like, if you play FIFA on Xbox or PlayStation, you're trying to get your triangles to match up and turn green, and if you play FIFA, you'll understand that reference, but trying to get the best combinations and the best chemistry and all that on the field. So
yeah, unfortunately, you don't have little green triangles above all your players, so
to tell me when their stamina's down, no, that would be handy, wouldn't it? Usually hands on hips and bend over is a good indicator.
That's probably better than the little indicator floating above their head or something like that. Well, that's games at 6:30 today at the Mac Chase Complex, and I got a note from Coach Henderson, the athletic director, yesterday that ticket prices, are not doing online ticket sales. It's all show up at the ticket booth there when you come into the complex.
We're excited about that.
And you pay your $5 or $3, depending on if you're a kid, and you come on in, which means the barking guy will be there.
Oh, does he not do online?
He does not do online.
Man, you know what? I'm kind of in his camp. I don't know. There's something to be said for paper and handing somebody some money, but
That's right. And it'll be the same way at Cielo Grande if folks are going up to the girls' game. So no online ticket sales. Just show up with your cash.
And no clear bags. You can bring whatever bags you want.
I don't think they have the restrictions like in Lovington.
You can bring whatever bags you want, but I will say, if you're going to up to Roswell, do not bring outside food or drink, because they will make you throw it away.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, see, these are things I never have to deal with because I have that press pass.
Well, see, and I never knew that either until I started going to Abigail's games, and I'm like, I can't bring my drink in? They're like, no. And I was like, well, I've always brought my drink in as a coach.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, you can't now. So,
are you coach now? No.
Yeah, no. But the lady at the thing was like, well, you can bring a Yeti in, but you can't bring an outside drink. I'm like, okay, so we know the loophole.
That's right. As long as it's in the Yeti and the lid is closed.
Seems a little bit of a loophole there. So.
Yeah. No, that's kind of crazy. We were talking before we went on the air about the history with Santa Teresa in the playoffs. You've played them 2 other times in the playoffs.
Right. And so you have them with the dates because we just talked about it, but we've beat them once
Mm-hmm.
and then lost to them once. And the 2003, was it? I don't know. You're looking at it now.
Well, this is the soccer schedule.
Oh, yeah, but you can look at the bottom of the schedule and it tells you. It tells you.
That's when they won. Another year.
Well, that was this year. You won at Santa Teresa on November 2nd?
No, that would have been
That's the play.
whatever year.
Oh, okay. Here. Take a look. Take a look.
Sorry, look.
Maybe you
It's,
know what I'm looking at.
This would be the 2013 season.
Okay.
So if you look at the top of the season.
Oh, I got it. So in 2013, 2014,
Right.
Okay, so it's the same thing, right?
No, 2 different years. One year we won in the first round and played Roswell High in the second round.
This looks like the same thing, Jeffrey.
Oh, yeah, you're printed out.
Here, let me see.
That's okay. Yeah, they're both. These are the same. So he's going to print the other one.
No, it's fine. So the 2013 season,
Right.
whenever Coach Wiles was here,
Mm-hmm.
we won in the first round against Santa Teresa.
Beat them one.
Beat them 1-0.
Right.
And then lost to Roswell 2-0 in the second round, or in the quarterfinals.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure that was the year that Roswell won state that year.
Okay.
But I could be wrong. I have to fact check that. But
Yeah.
that was 2013, and I believe the other time whenever we played them was 2000.
11. You were thinking.
It was either 11 or I think it was 11.
Yeah, and that was
11-12.
and that was on the road.
Yeah, 11-12.
Yeah,
And that would have been away.
in Santa Teresa.
Yeah.
So this year, which is 2022, gosh, that's been a long time. Then that's
A
been
decade
like
almost.
10 years.
Yeah.
Those guys have probably all gone on to college, graduated, have kids, and
And
are
they're
probably
back coaching somewhere
coaching
else.
soccer. So yeah, here it is, the 11 season, and lost to them 3-0 in Santa Teresa on an October night, the 29th.
And that's what's weird about it. I told somebody the other day, I said, man, it seems like we're playing earlier and earlier. And if you look at these dates, that first round game was 11-2, and then this one is 10-29.
Right, and then this one is 10:25.
Right. So it feels like we're just getting earlier and earlier and earlier. And
Yeah.
I mean, I remember in 2009 when we traveled to Berlin, I remember it was the 31st, I think, because I remember driving back and doing Halloween
Yeah.
and all that. So
Well, is there a lot of crossover between athletes in the fall sports, or pretty much that they're playing soccer, they're playing football, they're doing track,
the crossover,
cross country?
the crossover would be between fall and winter.
Okay.
So you have the basketball kids, and then you have bowling. Man, I don't.
There's gonna be
I
wrestling
set
this
myself
year.
up right now, didn't I?
Yeah, no,
by
there's
not
gonna be,
naming all the winter sports: swimming, bowling,
Right. And
wrestling,
basketball.
wrestling,
Wrestling.
basketball.
Mm-hmm. I
Can't
think
miss
that,
any.
well, there's always choir, band, and.
Okay,
yeah.
sports, not activities, and so
Okay. No, I think that's fine. So I think they've separated the seasons a little bit so that athletes can finish the fall sport and then be ready to go in the winter sport if
Yeah.
they want to do that. So, because like the football playoffs are early now. We start.
right.
We have 2 games in August where we only used to have 1, and then Thanksgiving weekend is the football championship weekend.
Has it always been like that though?
No, that's just the
Yeah,
last
no.
couple years that they've moved it up. So I think you're right. I think the goal is to have the volleyball and the soccer and the football done, so that those kids that want to go play basketball or the other winter
Well, it sure
sports.
feels better either way right now than it did in August.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing I'm certain of is that whatever what is today? October 25th feels a lot better than August 5th.
Yeah,
Because when we started back in August, it was hot.
it was. And then you won't have to deal with the weather like we had yesterday. That was pretty crazy.
And we were out there on the field, and was it bad?
Well, it was windy.
I don't remember it being all that bad, to be
Yeah.
honest. But then again, to be fair, we played in the spring, what was it, 2 years ago, whenever it was crazy. So I guess that's the gold standard for me of if you don't have dust blowing across the field.
Well, I remember that because was that the COVID season, the spring
Yeah.
season, and so they were still doing dirt work on
On
the
the
what's
yard.
now the the school's maintenance yard.
Yeah, and we tried to wet it down and knock it down, but it was so bad that day that it just was awful. And so I guess that's my gold standard for, oh, the wind's not that bad.
Yeah. if you can see the water tank,
Right. It was bad that day.
over on 8th, you're good, from the soccer complex.
But I guess the weather was bad because they said that it was bad. My wife and kids told me it was bad, and I was like, oh,
yeah.
it didn't seem that bad.
Well, one of the things that I was going to ask you about, and we're going to break for news here in just a second. I was going to ask you about the concession stand, if they're going to be open tonight. Because
Yes.
they got a pretty awesome hamburger that they sell over there.
Yeah, and
It's-
quesadillas.
And quesadillas. Well, the hamburger is pretty awesome.
And yes.
And
I know where you're going with this. Gene.
no, I'm not going anywhere. What Coach is talking about is after the last home game, I wound up with half of Aaron's hamburger, and I didn't know it. So it's kind of funny.
Yes, that was pretty funny.
So I don't think I owe Aaron a hamburger though, because you gave it to me.
Yeah, well, I don't.
So you owe Aaron a hamburger.
All I know is it ended up in your bag.
Yeah, well, you handed it to me. I did not take it and say, "Whose is this?" You handed it to me and said, here's an
Yeah.
extra hamburger.
I don't know how that'll shake out.
All right, we're going to break for news. We have Coach Jowers of the boys soccer team with us. We'll be back in just a moment.
Now for your Pecos Valley news.